Hi, Polina. Thanks so much for coming on this podcast today. I'm really excited to kind of go into uh, how your work and how your life is in London.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm flattered that you've invited me here today. It's my first podcast experience, so I'm a little bit nervous. So if I say something stupid, don't judge.
She'll be fine.
But yeah, I'm really flattered to be here today. And I'm so excited about our talk. And I'm excited to share my thoughts on a few of the topics we're going to discuss.
Oh, amazing. I'm excited. So, Polina, so the podcast today is sponsored by Owly Eyewear. So Owly Eyewear, they sell reading glasses and blue blocking glasses. So if you're on a computer quite a lot, then it's quite helpful. Are you on a computer much?
I am, yes. So how did you come up with this idea? What's special about Owly?
So Owly, well, I work as an optometrist. I've been doing so for 10 years, testing eyes, treating eyes, and providing glasses, contact lenses. And I would have a lot of patients come in with reading glasses. Reading glasses where when you're over 40, you tend to need reading glasses to read small print. So I found that a lot of patients come in with reading glasses, they're always broken. The hinge would be broken, the lens would be scratched, they would not be comfortable in their face, and they'd always complain about it, but there was never any solution for those 10 years. I was thinking that surely someone must have come up with something a bit better that would not break, that would look, be very clear, comfortable. So that's when we came out with Owly reading glasses.
Can I have a look?
Yes, I actually have a pair for you right there. So it comes in a nice packaging, quite a sleek, professional packaging. You can open it up, slide it out like this.
Yeah, it looks like very high quality. When I look at some products, if I get something, the first thing I pay attention to is the packaging.
Yes.
Because if it's a good packaging, it means it's good quality product inside.
And packing experience.
Yeah.
So the box, it has 2 Owly eyes.
Oh, how cute.
That's the logo, basically.
I have some as well in here.
Yeah, 2 Owly eyes. So a lot of customers have actually used this as a jewellery box. They put their jewellery in there and they keep the box. So
it's cool. A good idea for sure.
So this wee case here is designed to be quite thin. It's a leatherette case, vegan leather, and easy to put in your pocket to travel when you're about. Because I had patients who had like big bulky cases, and had to put them in their pocket or
100%.
their case. It was just hard to carry. So this particular case, you can actually there's a magnetic clasp to close it. So I had patients with arthritis and they couldn't open the box.
It's the same eye, isn't it, from here?
Correct. Yeah, the eyelid.
How cute.
So some patients have arthritis, they couldn't open the case. So this one you just kind of snap it on.
Oh.
Yeah, quite cute.
Yeah.
So if you open the glasses out there, you've got the different colors. This man was blue, your one's red.
Oh, nice.
So this is a reading glass, so it might be a bit. So you pop it on.
Can I try them on?
Yeah, on you go. So,
nice.
if you try and read, it's mostly for people older, like over 40s, but it should still kind of magnify it for you.
Yeah, for me, I'm already wearing lenses.
Oh yeah.
Which is in minus, but I like the design. It's very cute.
I think the red looks really good on you, actually.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. One of the things with this is really thin. It's only 7 millimeters thin, and they're only 14 grams in weight. So it's very light on your face, so you don't feel it on your nose. A lot of customers, patients of mine, their glasses leave marks on their face, and they don't like that, and they look bad when they take it off.
This is so horrible. I know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, you wear glasses.
Because I wear lenses, but sometimes I wear glasses, which is quite rarely, but I do. But I hate when you take it off and it's like stays in here.
Marks, so bad for the skin as well. Yeah, and sometimes it's too heavy. At least it can cause some headaches as well. Actually.
Yeah.
So that's 100%. Why I wanted to be really light. It's made of a special material called Swiss TR90. The frame, so you can actually bend it. And it won't break. They won't bend that much, but they basically won't break as easily.
And they still look like very high quality. Yeah.
So they'll last a long time. They won't break. Actually, one other thing I did not mention, the screw is actually in the front plane of the glasses. So usually with normal glasses, the screw is as a hinge.
Yeah.
And it is exposed. So when you sit on your glasses, it can break the hinge and then the screw falls out. But the screw is actually hidden inside the frame
You know,
front.
I know what you're talking about because I've wore glasses for a few years, so I know this problem actually.
Sitting on them, or
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's
Yeah.
actually a problem.
yes.
Yeah.
So you can crush these, and the hinge is not exposed; it won't break.
Yeah.
The screw won't fall out. So it's pretty strong, pretty durable. So that's one of the good features of the Owly glasses.
Wow.
So that's basically our sponsor today, and anyone for
You know, I'm
reading
now thinking maybe I need the pair for my parents.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We can definitely sort that out for you.
Yeah, really good.
Right, so I'll pop that to the side just here. So in terms of the blue blocking, I mean, it helps a lot with computers if you're on it a lot, especially nighttime. So studies have shown that if you wear blue blocking glasses 4 hours before bed, if you're exposed to digital devices, it can help. It basically blue light from the screen blocks the production of melatonin, and melatonin is required to help you to sleep at night.
Yeah.
So when you're on a screen, when it's blocked, then it's harder for you to sleep, but you don't get a good night's sleep. So when you wear the blue blocking, it blocks the blue light. You produce melatonin naturally at nighttime, and then helps you to sleep better. So I mean, are you on a computer quite a lot of devices during the night, or?
To be honest, I'm all the time on my computer and my phone due to my job.
Yeah.
I have to be on my laptop and on my phone. So it's actually, I've read about it a lot, that if you're like on your computer or on your phone before bed, it's not good because of the melatonin levels going down. So 100% this is something useful to have. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people, not just you, are on their devices all the time now.
Yeah, we live in digital world, so we're all the time online on our phone at least.
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. It's quite, especially after the pandemic, right? And we're so used to it now.
I think phone in our hands became part of the culture at this point. I'm not talking about laptops because laptops is still not everyone's all the time on laptops, depending on your job, depending on your occupation. But on the phone, for sure, we're all the time on it.
Yeah.
And I've noticed, I think it's right now the vision obviously is going down as well because of this.
Yes,
reasons.
become more short-sighted. Yeah, and we actually now, as optometrists, we have new treatments for short-sightedness.
Yeah.
Especially it's more effective when you're younger. It's called myopia management glasses or lenses. That's kind of starting to roll out, and it kind of helps to reduce the progression of short-sightedness.
Okay.
More effective when you're younger, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 to 10.
I haven't heard about it, to be honest.
It's quite new.
Yeah.
But because when you're very short-sighted, you can actually get eye diseases, like retinal detachment risks are higher, myopic maculopathy, which all can cause some sort of loss of vision.
Yeah.
So that's why we're treating patients with this, but it's privately. They have to pay for it. So maybe later NHS might cover it, but
that would be amazing because I don't think this topic is covered enough at this point.
Yeah. Apparently, in 10 years or so, 50% or maybe 50 to 60% of the population will be short-sighted. Yeah, so that's crazy. Everybody's going to need glasses or contact lenses.
Yeah,
unless we stop this, it's like an
good job. Laser things exist, for example, to correct it, or things like you've just mentioned this new treatment. I didn't catch the name.
Yes, so laser can correct the vision, but with short-sightedness, it actually means your eyeball is bigger, it's more stretched, so you will still be at risk of those eye diseases that I mentioned, the myopic maculopathy, the retinal detachment risks. Although your vision's corrected because the front part is molded for the light to be focused better, you're still at the rest of those diseases because the shape of your eye is still the same.
Well, you definitely know much more than me.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I have this problem for ages, and I'm just using lenses to forget about this problem. But what you're saying to me is
It depends how bad you are in terms of your prescription. Is quite high then.
It's -5.
Oh, that's okay. I was actually a -5. I got laser surgery.
I'm glad to hear that it's not that bad.
Well, it's not.
Still.
Polina, I've seen -30.
Are you serious?
Yeah, one of my patients -30. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
If with -5 already can't say anything, how do they see the world?
Say that again?
If with -5 already can't say anything about lenses, how they how they function at all. I don't know.
Well, I can show you a -30 lens, and you can see that. I'll put. I actually have a lens in the practice, and you can see it what it looks like. It's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know it exists.
Yeah.
I thought the max you can go like what, -10, -15.
Oh well, yeah. It's quite high. It can go quite
Yeah.
high. So Polina, that kind of moves us quite smoothly to social media. I mean, can you do you work in social media? Is that right? Can you go into that?
Yes. So basically, I work in marketing and social media already for the last 5 years. So I've graduated with a marketing degree, and I've started working. Like I straight away knew that I want to work in marketing because since childhood, I was interested in advertising, and I thought always I was gonna go into advertising. But when I was growing up, advertising was about billboards and the TVs and something like printed offline marketing, working with celebrities. And when I grown up, when I already like got into like actually getting into profession, it all became about online marketing, about digital marketing. So I had no choice but to go into this industry, and it's actually I'm quite enjoying it. So,
Yeah, it's quite fun, social media. I mean, that's amazing. Like the things change so fast, right? And you have to kind of adapt. And do you think that the university has taught you how to adapt? Like, or I find a lot of time sometimes with some courses it's kind of outdated in terms of, and unless you're in the real world doing it, getting experience, it's very hard to actually learn it.
To be honest, what can I say? I've studied it in university, then I took a few courses on that. And the biggest experience I'm getting is through actual proper work experience because it's changing every year so much. So with every year, I have to learn new techniques, new opportunities come up for extra promotions, new platforms come up to the market. So you always have to stay out there to always learn the industry. So whatever I've studied in university, I barely use. So it's always comes to like actual work experience. And with marketing, it's not something which is very you can't really like, it's not math, you can't learn the algorithm and it's always working. With marketing, you have to test and again test and then see what's working out, what doesn't work out. And with social media is the same, like you never know, like if before it was, I don't know, like normal posts would always like bring you new people, or working with influencers would bring you like so many clients. Right now things have changed. Right now it's like people like organic, people like micro influencers.
Yes.
So the new trends come up with every year, and I always learn about it through my personal experience, as well as I have some friends who work in the same industry, so I like to catch up with them. Recently I've met a few actually nice girls who, like, it was out of accident. In one of the jobs I've met a few girls who is also like into content creation and social media, so we're going to catch up in a few weeks because we're all in the same industry. So we're like, oh my god, it's actually very interesting because we all see it from like our own perspectives.
You support each other and work together?
Yeah, I think we might plan some project together.
Right.
So we're going to catch up and see, because we're all content creators and looking at our aesthetics of how we're doing things at this moment, we kind of align. So it was interesting to meet so many people at the same time, like at a very other random job, and we all like actually do this content creation. But yeah, this is the only way these days to come up with the right strategy for marketing. So it's test and always staying on the trends and learning what's new in the market.
Did the marketing degree help you get the job though, at least at the start?
Yes, for sure. So my first job, I remember it. Basically, I've just graduated from university at that moment, and I had two options: whether I'm going back home to Russia or I'm staying in England. But if I'm staying in England, since I've graduated, me and my parents, we agreed like that's it, like they're not going to support me anymore. It's either like I'm going home, because I have a little brother as well, I have to take care. I'm not the only child, like they can't keep paying for my rent, especially in London. They said like, yeah, feel free to come back to like Moscow, or like if you're staying, like you have to find a job. And I knew I have to find a job because I wanted to stay. So I've just graduated and I had no idea what I'm doing. I was like, okay, I have a diploma, and what do I do with that? And then through networking, thanks God, London and networking is like working very well. This is the only way in here, not the only way, but the most likely way you're gonna like meet the right people. through networking. So I got my first job in marketing, and having a marketing degree has helped me. But yeah, this job was in an industry I have no idea about. It was a construction industry.
Construction. Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they were looking for a marketing person to promote their services, obviously.
Right.
And I had this degree, and they were like, yeah, sure, like, let's see how it's going to work out, because for them, they never worked with that. So for them, like, it was an experiment, and for me I needed a job, so for me it was also like, at least I can try to see like what I can do for them. And I've learned so much. When I've joined them, obviously the degree has helped, but then when I already started to work with things like in actual practice, I've learned way more, like at
practical
the same
experience.
Yes,
that you may not have got when you were studying, right?
Yes, because when I was studying, I still did a few internships as well. I always was proactive, but I studied fashion management and marketing. So I thought I might go into fashion after. But yeah, and the internships were related to like fashion and social media and marketing. And I worked in the fashion industry for a long time. Like I worked for big brands, Louis Vuitton, Hermes. Then I worked I did internship in a styling agency where I did loads of all sorts of things, to be honest. But I never knew I'm gonna go actually properly into marketing, and I will start with the construction company. Yeah. But
if it was fashion, it would be perfect.
Yes. I wanted to find a job in fashion, but it's so hard.
Right.
In London, it's all about networking and about knowing the right people, and about I don't even know, like it was so hard. And in fashion, it's obviously like they don't want to pay you much. And if you want to start in a good company in the fashion industry, as with some of the other industries, you have to work for like nothing as an internship basis. So, for example, my friend of my friend, she got into Vogue, but the way she got in there, she had to work for them for free for a year.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that though. I don't know if it was legal or not. It was a few years ago. So, but I don't think right now it's legal to work for like nothing. But yeah, this is the way she got a job, and I know a few people who got like in the bigger companies like a job throughout internships and working for free for so long. And obviously in London, it's like
so expensive as well to live in London. How are you going to survive?
Yeah, like how are you going to pay the rent, the food, like some...
And you're just out of uni, so maybe you have some student debt, and then there's no way.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. This is... Degree has helped me for sure. And right now, like, it's obviously on my LinkedIn. I got a degree in marketing, and I got also first class. So it's like, it makes it like look very cool. So I can use it. But on the other hand, with the degree, what I can say, I don't promote not to study in university because I got so many of other skills. I got
learning how to learn is the main thing.
How to learn, obviously English language, obviously public speaking, because in there we had to present a lot. And I remember my first presentation when I just started university. I was like, what do I say? I'm so nervous. And by the end of the year, it got better. Networking, so through university I've met so many people as well.
That's interesting. Like in the US, I hear that if you're going to like Harvard, right, that's really good for networking.
Yes, 100%.
But definitely also if you are in the sciences like STEM, like technology, engineering, health sciences, doctor, like lawyer, then going to uni is very necessary, right? But a lot of my friends, one of them had business administration degree, psychology degree, sociology, and they never managed to get a job or anything after that, and they're in debt. So hard sciences probably, definitely uni will be helpful, but I'm not so sure about like the soft sciences.
I agree with you. And again, for me, if you go to universities like Harvard or in London, I guess it's like Oxford or Cambridge, it's about the networking. And then also, the people you meet in there, most likely, if they made it to this university, they're going to be very high up in their life. Because if they're smart enough, or if they have this opportunity to study in there, it's already a good connection to have. So I think this is... I don't know why I remember this saying of my mom. She said to me, like, when I was younger, like, the most of the friends, like of the closest friends, you're going to get through university.
Uh-huh.
And I'm still friends with like some girls from uni, which I'm really like appreciating because I've met my like life friends in there. And I always feel like we bring each other up, and we all ended up in like different industries. But for sure, I know that I can, like, whoever you studied with, it's always easier to reach out to them and say, for example, if there is a job on LinkedIn and you're seeing like your friends working there, you can reach out to them. Oh, hey, can you like recommend me? And of course they're going to be like, yeah, they know you already in person.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they? Or even like if they're starting their own business, they can always take you like as a part. Like some of the jobs I'm having is like through networking as well.
I mean, you seem
through
very
recommendations.
I think you seem to be very good at networking, I think. So, I mean, would you agree with that?
I'm
have any
trying my
tips on it?
best. I'm trying my best. I'm pushing myself out there to network more. If I would, I don't know, if it wouldn't be the life I'm reaching out to, maybe I wouldn't network as much because half of me is very introverted. So I can be extroverted, and many people tell to me that, oh my God, you're so extroverted. I'm extroverted at the right timing.
Yeah.
when when I have to network, I'm extroverted because I understand that I live in a city where networking is a big opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
London.
I always build up my networking, and it's one of my priorities to make friends in here, to like meet new people. And also there's so many great people you can learn from.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah, some people motivate you so much. Some people have such an amazing job, such an amazing life. And it's just so inspiring that I kind of feel like, yeah, in this city I have to, if I want to keep up with that.
Yeah. I mean, there's such a big advantage. There's, I don't know, is there 10 million people in London? I can't remember. It's quite a lot.
Yeah, I think at least 10, maybe already 15. Yeah.
15, oh man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Officially. I'm not talking about unofficially.
in Glasgow, the city I'm from, there's 600,000. So it's quite small compared to, I mean, Hong Kong, where my parents are from, is roughly the same, 50 million, I believe.
Yeah.
But there's so many people, so many opportunities that it's silly not to.
Yeah.
But what if someone who struggles is very introverted and they really struggle to go out and network? Like, what would your advice be on that?
Okay, my number one advice: some people think too much of what other people think of them, and I would advise not to think of that because everyone is selfish. Everyone thinks of themselves.
Oh.
So some people are scared to approach other people and start talking to them because they'll be like, oh, what if they think I'm weird, or what if they think I'm dead? They probably will not think of you at all.
Uh-huh.
I think we have to put ourselves out there. If it doesn't work out, not stay at home and overthink about it. Oh my God, I'm never going to do it again. No, just go and try, because most likely we all have our own life going on and we're not going to be bothered about someone random coming to us.
Yeah.
This is my number one advice: not overthink and still like go out there. Also understand what you want from that, to be honest. Like some people, you can't just go at work and like talk about the life. You have to understand what you're doing it for. What is your main focus? It can be, for example, a job. It can be career growth. It can be, I don't know, searching for a partner. You can go out networking to search for a partner. You can go out network to search for a motivator, for motivation, for like some life example. Yeah, or you can go out, you're, for example, a mom, and like I have a few friends who are moms already, they go out and network with other moms because they like to find advices on how to raise their children.
Absolutely.
So you have to understand what you're doing it for as well.
So, I mean, I always see you in some cool events. Like, I don't know, I think I saw you were in many parties, like what was it, like a Italian party, and maybe like Annabelle's doing something. Like, you're always doing these cool things. So how do you get access to these things to network people? Do you have any advice on that?
Well, okay, I always go out in London, and I try to go out like to the right places as well. I'd say there are two things that working out for me. First of all, I'm always out there, and when you're out there, you meet the right people, you attract the right like circle of friends. So you kind of get invited more and more into like other similar places. And in these sort of places, if I go out, I don't like going out to some random place because I'm like, what? I want to be like in a certain level in my life. So I want to be in a right circle of people, to hang out with the right circle of people with the right mindset, which is aligned with my mindset. So I think when people see it as well, when you meet more people, you kind of just organically get into those circles. Also,
How do you find these people?
uh,
How do you find like-minded people?
because of my networking. Honestly,
So good.
honestly, I just meet some people like the other day I was taking part in one gaming event, which was super cool. And I've met some friends in there, and already like we kind of connected. And obviously, right now we're already in touch. And I know that I already like, if something will be happening and I will want to find someone to come with me, I'm going to invite them or they're going to invite me. And also when I go out, Instagram helps me a lot as well.
Instagram.
Because I'm very, okay, not today, but not yesterday, but I try to be more active on Insta. So I feel like it always, to be honest, lately some people invite me out and I'm saying, I don't have time. Because when you're always out there, they message you and they invite you even more often somewhere because they see you having like an active lifestyle, like you'd be interested in this event. And through Instagram, like even the event I've met you at, we've met in the gala events.
The charity events.
Yeah, the charity
for
event.
Dogs. Yeah.
Yeah, the first one I came for dogs, which was amazing.
Yeah.
And I got it through Instagram as well because someone saw me on Instagram. I posted, I think at that moment it was just before or after London Fashion Week. I can't remember, but somehow it's all correlated. I took some fashion jobs, some like modeling jobs. Maybe through that I got noticed on Instagram for this event as well. So Instagram helps me a lot as well.
So you get a lot of invites via Instagram.
I have so many. It's that I really want to attend them all. And yeah, some of the places are really cool. So yeah, through Instagram I get a lot as well.
So,
and
do you post quite often? I think you post quite a lot then.
I post a lot, but the funny thing is like some people, they think, oh, I'm not going to do Instagram, I don't have enough followers. I don't have followers as well. I have like, comparing to like Instagram world, like I am on a very low number of followers. And even with my number of followers, I'm getting so much invitations and opportunities through Insta. This is why I always encourage people like be out there, because if you're always on social media, if you post out there yourself, people remember about you. Because like if people stop posting, you kind of, they get out of your sight, so you kind of forget. And I think their social life also goes a bit lower. Whether if you're always out there, you just, people see that you're active and they want to invite you. Even I guess like when you were inviting me, you probably like watched a few of my stories. It's working.
Even if you don't have many followers, like your stories content does organically reach people, right? So you just post anyway. But I mean, nowadays it doesn't matter if you have not that many followers. I mean, it's so hard to grow followers nowadays organically that it's almost not, I mean, you can't really worry about it that much unless you run ads, you do reels that go viral, or do collaborations. There's not really other ways to grow on Instagram.
Right now, obviously, still reels.
Reels, yeah.
You can still do it.
One of your reels went up to 1 million or views or something, right?
Yeah, it was crazy. I didn't expect it. This reel, actually, when I just posted it in the first maybe couple of weeks. It wasn't doing well at all. And I really liked this video. And I was saying to my friends, like, why do you think it doesn't go like, it doesn't even get like normal amount of like views? And she was like, I don't know, it's really great video. And I was like, okay, I'll just leave it. And then later it went crazy. And I kept looking at it. I gained like couple of thousand followers from one reel, and I was like, oh my god. Okay,
it's crazy. You never know which video goes
viral.
Just
and it's very random because this video was literally just like some of my summer moments, and I put it under a song and people found
was it quite a trendy song then that you put
on? This song wasn't, so basically after I posted this reel, when I was posting it wasn't that many reels made for this song. This song is quite old, but this version was edited by someone and posted as an original audio. By the way, if you want to promote reels on Insta, put an original audios only. Because this is the ones you can run ads on, and Instagram doesn't like plagiarism much, so they put these videos higher than they would put like the famous songs. So yeah, I've put this song, and back then it wasn't that many videos done for this song, and after I've posted it, people started to save it, and I guess this is why it went viral because the more people save your audio from your reel, the more viral it gets. So I think people kind of like found out about this song for the first time probably because it was, I heard the song ages ago, but it wasn't as viral. So yeah, I think this is how it went viral, and people just started to like recreate this video, like putting their own moments under the song.
That's the trick. That's so interesting. So, I mean, in terms of social media, like, do you think it's a good thing for people like always being on your phone? Like, what do you advise against with that? Like, I feel like it creates a lot of anxiety in people.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think?
So yeah, anxiety wise, I was thinking recently, how much anxiety social media brings us. But on the other hand, for me, it's kind of common sense that we post the best on social media. We're always on the phone. We search through like what other people are up to. In Instagram, everyone is like doing very well, living the best life.
Always the best stuff.
Yeah, in LinkedIn, everyone is like performing so good, just got a new job. Amazing. Yes, they write like this very smart posts. I'm going there, I'm like, oh my God, they're so smart. Facebook, obviously, like everyone's life events, everyone's getting married, getting kids, and you can sometimes get lost in that and think you're not doing that well. But I think just when I think of other people, I'm always like putting them in my own shoes, and I'm thinking of myself, I'm doing the same. I'm posting online only the best parts of my life. There is so much struggle I'm going through as well at the same time as everyone else. We all have like life struggles, but we don't post them online. Yeah, we post like how everything is nice and perfect. So yeah, for sure, I think we should all understand that it's if it seems like someone is doing too well, don't trust it. We're all living a normal life. We all have our own problems. So don't get too anxious that your life is not as good. And on the other hand, for me, looking how other people live good actually motivates me to also do more, to live like similar life. So it can affect you in different ways. It can give you anxiety. It can give you motivation. But if it gives you anxiety, I guess you have to understand that people have struggles. They just don't put it out there.
Yeah. I mean, like, for you, it's your job. So you can't... A lot of people take breaks from social media, right? And that helps. But for you, you can't really take a break from it. Right?
Yeah. Sometimes...
So you've always have to find ways to deal with it.
My hand sometimes hurts from holding the phone. Because I'm always out there. If I don't post on my social media, which I do more rarely, I post it like on the people, on the clients I work for. And sometimes I look at my phone and my eyes are like blurry and I'm like, can't do this anymore. Because it's already hard to like, if you're, I don't know, even if you're like taking a break, you're still on your phone, still checking like something, still watching YouTube videos or something, then you come back to it as a job. So on the one hand, it might be a big problem. And before it wasn't a thing. People didn't use phones that much. But I don't know who was luckier because, it's a very controversial topic because before they didn't have the same opportunities we have right now. Right now we have this free platforms we can advertise our services on, or free platforms we can like connect with people, free platforms we can meet new people. It's a really like great opportunity. Before, people didn't have the same opportunities. So it's kind of, we have to feel lucky about it and feel really happy about it.
But how do we balance it? Because as you said, people get addicted to it, right?
Yeah.
And they don't really appreciate maybe real life moments.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, the fireworks in Paris in 20...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you saw the video, but it's like the fireworks going up at the Triumph Gate. Triumph?
Yeah.
And every phone was up, every phone filming these fireworks that they probably would not even watch the next day.
I say about fireworks, this is those unuseful videos you're filming on your phone with an knowing that you will never ever watch it again.
Yeah.
Such a useless video. I saw the video you're talking about. This is crazy. Same as when you go to a concert, it's the same, like all the phones are up. Or if you're going to some like big events, like even if you go to Regent Street during the winter times, like it's just phones up there.
Yeah.
About the balancing, for me, the way I do it, the way I try to do it I'm not the best at balancing it like phone, because I still like to create lots of content. But for example, if I'm socializing with someone, I max take a few pictures. Like I come in the beginning, I take picture. Like if I want to take picture with a person, I take it in the beginning. If it's like if I'm in a restaurant, because sometimes I post restaurant reviews, I take some pictures of the food. But then I put my phone away, and for this like 2-3 hours I'm spending with my with the people I'm meeting, my phone is in my pocket. I don't reply to anyone. I just disappear. This is my detox time when I'm real life chatting with people, because if you are meeting up with someone, the worst thing what can happen that you're all on your phone, and I hate it. And I think, thanks God, real life conversations still exist. Hopefully, like with VR coming, it will be still a thing. We will still meet in real life. But yeah, if for me, I think you kind of naturally feel when you don't want to be on your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or even like you go, I don't know. For me, detox time is I go to the park, my phone is in my pocket. Max, I listen to some podcasts or some audio in the headphones, and I just walk for like a couple of hours, and it detoxifies me. So after that, I can go back to my phone like with a fresher mind.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, like if being in nature, maybe like putting your phone away, being at the park. I mean, you take some breaks. Like I saw that you were in Rome, right? You were on holiday.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Well, you were still on your phone, but
Um,
but
yeah, of course. But as I mentioned, how it worked with me and my friend, we will take some pictures,
uh-huh.
then we will put our phone away, we go enjoy it.
Right.
But still, it's kind of it's harder to balance when you're also a content creator, because for me, I don't find content creation for me is not a job. It's like my lifestyle.
Okay.
So I love taking pictures, and I like finding angles, and I love like creating videos. I like always like have some thoughts on like what can the video be like. But I try to balance it out, and I take it as a fun activity. And for example, like when I was on a Rome trip, I was with a friend who also likes content creation. She also likes to take pictures and stuff. So with her, it was easier because we understand it, and it didn't bother her to like help me with content, and it didn't bother me to help her with content.
Yeah.
If I'm with some people who's like not that much into it, obviously I'm not gonna like bother them much.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can bother them like a little bit, take a picture of me, but it's not gonna be like millions of pictures. It's gonna be like a few pictures.
Yeah.
That's it. So yeah, it's harder to balance, but I think you have to like take pictures, because we still live in a world where you have to be out there. Again, as I mentioned before, if I'm out there, I'm getting even more like job opportunities, networking opportunities.
Yeah.
It gives me so much, but at the same time, I try to balance it and put my phone in the pocket, in the bag, and like stay away from it for a couple of hours. And I don't even like not post anything, but don't reply. And then normally I come home, and then like I spend maybe like 1 hour going through pictures and posting everything.
Yeah.
Not at the moment.
It's good to hear that, because definitely social media is a really powerful tool and opportunity, as you said, and a lot of people are not really utilizing it as well, especially many businesses. So that's kind of what you do. You help these businesses on social media.
Yeah. It's crazy to see how many businesses don't use it still. I don't know, I was talking to one client the other day, and she said she's very scared to be online, because her business was always working out well offline, and she always used to find clients through like networking, through connection, through recommendations, and their business exists for a few like years already. Like I can't remember how long, but it's been like a while. And she was saying to me like, oh, I'm so scared to go online because it's never worked out for us. And I'm like, it's not that it's never worked out, it's that you've never tried it, and you don't understand that 10 years ago, marketing and promoting your services was completely different to what it is right now. So you don't have to be scared to invest into digital marketing, run the ads, and get into social media, because these days, if you're not having a proper social media page, people think that business is dead.
Yeah, they don't think you are real. They maybe think you're fake or you're a scam if you don't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Some pages look like scam, and I know some business owners behind it, and I'm like, guys, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Your business looks like, okay, it might still work for people who is like 40 plus at this point, because these people use more Facebook and don't use like Instagram much. I'm not talking about everyone, but like people at this age, they've been like Facebook and Twitter babies. So right now they don't use Insta, and especially not talking about TikToks and watching shorts. But new clients, who is right now the new generations, they're getting like the Instagram people are right now in their like early 30s, late 20s, and it's potential clients. These people already have money to spend on your product.
Yeah.
So why not to like invest into that?
You're right, because with Owly, my brand with glasses, doing these podcasts has actually helped to create credibility, authenticity, and I've actually noticed a lot of increase in sales and reach doing these podcasts. So you're incredible. You're right. You know, it definitely helps.
No, this is a great idea, to be honest. I might steal this idea from you about podcast.
Oh, yeah.
This is something I didn't work yet with. Like, as I mentioned, this is my first podcast.
Yeah.
And this is something I've never
thought
of. Yeah. I mean, I had this thought in the back of my mind, and I love podcasts myself. Like, I always listen
Which
to them.
ones do you listen to?
The ones I listen to is on Spotify. I like psychology podcasts and health podcasts. They're both in Russian. It's my favorite podcast, but it's, I don't know, it's something which like I like listening about it. At the same time, I feel productive, and at the same time, it's very useful because psychology and health is like topics I'm also interested in. So yeah.
So you're quite into health then, right?
Yeah, I like learning more about health.
What about health specifically have you learned recently, or what do you learn about most?
So I listen a lot about the food, about the nutrition, about exercising. So lately, I once confirmed about theory of why it's bad to eat meat, for example. What I watched lately, it was this twin experiment on Netflix. Lots of people hated on it.
What's it called?
It was, I can't remember the first bit. It was twin experiment. If you put on Netflix twin experiment, it's going to come up. And at the first bit, I can't remember how exactly it was called. But it came up, I think, like 1st, 2nd, or 3rd of January, just like beginning of year. And so these type of things is something I enjoy watching. I've read lots of comments about it. Lots of people hate it. When they watched it, there were lots of hate on it, and there were lots of love to it as well.
Yeah.
Basically, I didn't like, in one way, I didn't like the way they've put it. Basically, the whole all episodes are about how bad meat for you. They're putting like twins. They're doing twins experiment. So one twin eats meat, another twin is on vegan diet, and obviously the one who is on a vegan diet at the end, spoiler, they find out that the twin on a vegan diet has way better health after like a few weeks of this experiment. Yeah. So they've tested everything, like the blood, they've tested muscles, they've tested the fat, they've tested their physical activities, and in the beginning and at the end of experiment, and the one who was on a vegan diet, they performed way better.
So this is only for a few weeks, not for a year, 2 years, 3 years?
It was few weeks, I think, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's usually more accurate if it's over a longer period of
Obviously,
time.
100%. It's more accurate because over a period of time, you actually, like, if you are a vegan and you are getting into that without thinking, like without properly thinking about it, about the way you're going to do it, you might lose very essential nutrients. And some people do that, and then their health really struggles. So you have to be really smart about what food you eat and what extra like supplements you take in order to stay healthy. Because I understand why some people eat meat, and maybe for some people it's healthy. For me, when I watch these movies, I kind of remember again why I've skipped the meat back then, and why I left it out behind.
So you are a vegan now then, are you?
No, I'm not vegan, and I'm not vegetarian. I'm pescatarian.
Pescatarian?
Yeah.
What does that mean? You eat fish?
Yes, I eat fish and I eat seafood. So the reason I do it is for the health, because I'm into health, and this is the way I found it to be the healthiest diet, because fish is higher in like health nutrients, and it's easier for our body to digest. With meat, it's very hard for us to digest, and even like personally for myself, when I like stopped eating it, I felt much lighter. But when I've stopped eating meat back then, I've stopped eating everything: meat, fish, eggs, milk.
So you've tried different types.
Yeah, in the beginning, I've tried to be vegan. When I just started out, when I've just started out, I've tried to be vegan, but then didn't feel right. I've started to research more into it, and I realized actually the healthiest way is to be, in my opinion, pescatarian.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's very subjective. It's what I've tested myself and what I found out myself.
How long have you been pescatarian for?
I think 6 years now.
And what benefits have you noticed being pescatarian?
I feel lighter in general. I don't have this heavy feeling like I had after eating meat. So this is for sure number one. I'm higher in energy, I'd say. Also, I've discovered way more vegetables than I used to discover before. So the biggest advantage was that before, when I used to eat meat, I think our diets is quite limited. We know what we eat meat, we eat some same salad, which is like lettuce, cucumber, tomato, and the potatoes on the side. I guess this is the normal meal for like most of the people. When you kind of put away meat, you discover lots of new recipes, and you find out, okay, out of like similar ingredients, I can actually make way more. There are so many salads you can make. There are so many other proteins. I'm eating fish and seafood, but I don't do it on everyday basis. I eat other proteins to make my diet very balanced. I eat tofu, I eat lots of beans, I eat lots of grains, like all sorts of grains, not just rice. So I think it kind of puts you out there to discover more like
different healthier foods.
Yeah, healthier foods. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, it makes you, I don't know, it gives you more opportunities. Some people are like, oh, you don't eat meat, what do you eat? And I'm like, guys, I eat way more than you eat.
Varied diet,
yeah.
So it's not more the reason for it's not mainly the ethical of meat, but it's more the health, is that right?
So I'd say it both. The way I've started, basically, how it began. It was normal day for me. I was studying in university back then. I was having my meal. Normally when I'm eating, like if I'm alone at home, I'm watching some YouTube videos. And at that day, I was watching that YouTube video called Earthlings, I think. I was watching it in Russian Земляне, but I think in English it's Earthlings. And I was having for dinner a chicken cutlet. Chicken Kiev. And I was eating this chicken Kiev, and I started to watch this video out of nowhere. It just came up in my suggestions, and I saw those animals being killed. And this is the day when I became vegan.
Right. How long was that ago?
This was maybe like 6. It was the second year of my uni, so probably like 6 years ago. So at first I started for ethical reasons, because when I saw this, I've never thought of this, like how bad it is, and also how bad it is for environment as well. It's it's horrible for our environment, the way like they kill the animals, what it makes out of what it creates, like the troubles it creates on our planet. So back then, this is when I became vegan. I was like, that's it. Also, advice, never be that harsh on yourself. Don't do just that's it, and I'm never ever gonna do it. I did it in the way of experiment. I was like, that's it. I'm gonna try for a month and see how I feel. Maybe it's gonna work out for me, because when I moved to England, the food in here is not as great, especially the meat. Compared to Russia, in other countries, the meat. And I remember still the chicken. I never liked chicken in here. It tastes like water. So for me, I was like, anyway, I don't like the meat. So I don't like the meat in here. It's going to be easy for me. So I stopped eating everything. And then I started to research more into topic. So then I realized it's actually very healthy. Then I have a vegan friend. She's going to be so happy to hear it. Anna, it's for you. So she's vegan for a few years longer than me, and she's
vegan, but
vegan.
You're pescatarian.
Yeah. But she was one of the influences as well, because the way she talks about it is so passionate. She has facts about everything. And it kind of, when you see persons so charged on some topic, you get inspired by them, and you're like, okay, it makes sense to start researching more into it. Then my other friends, she also was pescatarian. She also inspired me. So I think, it was a mixture of reasons. Ethical as well, because it's horrible. And when I see a steak, I don't see it as a steak. I see it as a killed animal.
Right.
But with fish as well, recently when I watched the twin experiment, it it kind of reminded me how some fish is made, and if it's farm fish, it's not good. Because this fish been struggling a lot. So right now I'm trying to only buy the wild fish, and I still feel bad for the fish, but sorry, fish. Maybe one day I might consider like stop eating fish as well and seafood. Not at this point, because I think for health fish is good. From ethical, I'm in this like, you know.
You also feel it's not right to eat fish.
Yeah, I feel guilty.
I don't know why people find it's more ethical to eat fish than meat.
I only can justify lobster. I don't know if it's true, but I've heard that lobsters don't feel pain when they're killed. But I can only justify that point. So yeah, I don't think it's more ethically right to eat fish. Ideally, we don't eat any sorts of animals. But yeah.
I feel bad when my parents, they cook lobster and they'll boil the lobster. So
alive, yeah.
And I felt as a child that I was really scared for a lobster. But yeah, you said it don't feel pain, but it still looks bad. I still think it's so bad.
Yeah. Do you eat meat?
I do eat meat. Yeah, I do. I cannot. Because I had a personal trainer and I struggle with health quite a lot, and eating meat has really helped me to regain my health. And my build muscle, physique. So I know there was the one point that you had some issues with your health. So did that have? I mean, what was? Can you talk about the issue there? Was it anything to do with the diet, or you had a health issue that you were at the hospital?
Oh wow, you actually were watching my stories.
Well, yeah.
Yes. Basically, this summer, this is why I'm saying take it smart when you're like, be very smart about your health, because we have to maintain it since the youth, because otherwise when we're getting older it's going to be even harder. But basically, I was in the hospital in summer because I basically wore out my health and I was fainting. And
how did you wear out your health?
So it was stress, lack of sleep, lack of food. I think these three aspects have really influenced my health a lot. And one day I remember I woke up in summer and I stood up. I remember I went to the bathroom and I just switched off. And then the next second I'm waking up and I don't realize what's happening, and I'm on the floor and I'm like, what just happened? I check my phone. I realized I've been like for 20 minutes like knocked out. I was like, okay, something is wrong. Then it's happened one more time a few like later. I was like, okay, something is wrong with me. I went to see a doctor, and the first time in 10 years I used NHS.
Yes, yeah.
It was actually, I can say people hate on the NHS. This time was a pleasant experience for me. Right now I feel like I've cracked the NHS system. If something really bad happens to you, go straight to emergency and go to a good hospital. I went to the hospital next to Big Ben because I was reading reviews on the hospital before I decided which one I'm going to emergencies. Some hospitals, they really make you sit there for hours and they never give you anything out of it, but they were very helpful. They've sent me, because my normal GP, when I call them, they just say, I'm calling them, I'm like, I have these problems. They're like, we don't have appointments, and they put the phone down, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so many people. Did you go private? You said 10 years, so you didn't use NHS, so you didn't need it, or you just went private?
Most of the time I didn't need it,
right.
Thanks God. But I used to travel to Russia before, more often.
For health?
Yeah, so not just for health, but like before, when I was still studying, I would go to Russia every like 2-3 months. So whatever problems I had, whatever I had to do, I would go in Russia to a doctor, to a dentist, to do my hair, to go cosmetologist. I would do everything in Russia because I feel like some services in Russia are much better than in here, and it's more like quality price.
I mean, there's a lot of Russians in London who start their own business with doing all the services.
If I go in London to do something regarding health or beauty, I go to Eastern Europeans. At this point. I'd really trust more on the quality. But yeah, back then I didn't have because I was flying to home so often, I could just check on the health in Russia, so I didn't have to use NHS in here. Because every time I used it, it was like just here is your paracetamol and go. But this time I was like, okay, I have to do it, and I have to check on my health. And then I've checked how much just to do blood analysis and all this type of analysis costs, and it was up to £1,000 to check on everything I wanted. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm gonna try with NHS first. So I went. They've checked my health. And they've checked there were a couple of things that weren't doing well. And normally for vegetarians, what you experience is low iron.
Yes.
Correct. And low B12.
Correct.
And for me, what's happened, I had over high B12. It's as high that it's going to be enough for me for the next 3 years.
Oh, you took too much.
Yes. Because I was too concerned about it.
Yeah.
Never do this. I just was doing, and I was, because I work in the beauty industry as well, so I was asking someone to do B12 injections for me. Don't do it without prescription anymore. Don't do it. I don't recommend it to anyone. So I was too high on B12. And they said I'm fine on iron, but I looked at the charts, and the iron is basically almost at the bottom.
Right.
So this is how I realized, okay, this is what I'm lacking on. Since then, of course, I bought some iron. Then I also done some. I've sent my this one I actually paid for. I've sent the hair to some labs. They've checked also through the hair somehow, what vitamins I'm lacking on. Yeah. So I literally it was the first time I've heard about these supplements in my life, but I wrote them down. Went to the shop, bought all the supplements. Right now I'm feeling a bit better. But yeah, this moment was when I decided I'm going to go to hospital, because I literally I don't think it was because of the food only. It was also when we're stressing, when we're sleeping enough.
So is that because you work quite a lot then that you...
Yes, but I'm still doing the same mistake. Of liking on sleep and working too much. Even after the situation, I'm still repeating the same mistake. I'd say yes, I do work a lot.
How do you work every day then, 7 days a week, 8 hours a day, or even more than that?
Yeah,
80 hours a week, or do you know how many hours you work?
So I work almost every day. Even on my weekends, I work. So I work for the beauty industry. I have a full-time job where I'm the marketing manager. And apart from them, I'm taking some extra projects, all sorts of projects, to be honest, at this point, because I'm so into I want to find out as much as possible about different industries. And I'm really curious, because we only live once, and I'm still in my 20s. I don't want to miss opportunities, and I don't want to miss meeting the right people, and I don't want to miss learning something new. So yeah, I'd say at this point I work 7 days a week. But for me, I really enjoy it. Most of the time, obviously, I'm doing something I really enjoy doing. It's not something I'm
you don't want to do.
Yeah, but on the other hand, it's very hard to balance the work life, to make a work life balance.
I mean, you're working because you want to learn, you're curious. I mean, it's not like you can't because you're trying to make more money because it's expensive to live in London. It's not like you're working to try and meet the rent and stuff. It's more like you're...
I'd say obviously for the money as well, because we're in a city where we always need money. So I'd say both. I'm trying to grow within a career, within the money perspective, and within the social status. Yeah. So I think it's all related, because if you're working out, obviously it's bringing you money as well. At this point, I can officially say I can charge for my services. If I go and I do some content for someone, I film some content, I do social media for someone, I don't know, I do some sales for someone. Obviously, I can at this point say I'm experienced enough to charge for that. Yeah. So, I'd say it's all correlated. And I think in a city like London, this is a lifestyle. I don't understand how other people can... I don't actually, most of the people in here, they live this life. They're always into this run after like.
Maybe they like it, it's exciting. It keeps them. They're not bored. It keeps them excited. So I can understand. You get addicted to working, and it's fun, and you're learning. So I understand how that can work. Say traditionally, I would say, women would get married younger. They would have kids younger, and then the man would go out and work. And I feel like in the Western world, it's not like that as much. Women will work more, and they will put their careers first and put the marriage and kids later. And I think maybe in Russia it's still quite traditional, would you say? But in Western world, would you agree that it's kind of, gone the opposite way?
Shifted, yeah. 100%. So I think the country I'm coming from is Russia. We still have like more traditional views, and we still have a patriarchy. It's not as big as it used to be before, because before it was literally like man is working, a woman is staying at home. Right now, so many like families still live in this way. Even if there is a Russian family living in London, it would be also similar way that like a woman is staying at home with the kid, the man is working. But yeah, in here in this country and in Europe and England, I'd say for sure that the trend has shifted, and I understand why. I get why, because these countries like is harder to live in here. Even like with the marriage, why it's like getting, for example, in Russia, it's normal to get married in your early 20s.
Yeah.
In here, everyone gets married like in 30s.
30s, yeah.
Yeah, because it's just harder. In here, the price is like, even to take a mortgage, you have to be like at a certain position. So, and if you're having a job, like I guess for men, it's harder to just keep up with this job in order to like to provide for their family. So yeah, I'd say this is the reason why the marriage has shifted and why women have to work in this country in order to support. But I'm still more into traditional views, to be honest. I think it's more right way, because at the same time, women, we have basically, it's all about feeling secure when you're having kids, because when you're having kids, you can't work as much anymore, and you have to grow the family and you have to look after the house. So it's honestly like a hard job as well. And I don't like when some people don't appreciate like what some women do, because they think it's an easy job. They just stay at home easily. Like I think they can swap the places and see how hard it is to look after the kid.
It's just the female empowerment nowadays. Like you're an independent woman, you make your own money, and I feel like that.
I think it's a security question as well. You make your own money and independent, because right now the divorce rates are so high that if before divorcing was very like a shame, I'd say in Europe and in Russia especially, like it was a shame to get divorced. Like, how you can get divorced? Like, no, this was before. Right now the divorce rate is so high, and I'm seeing so many families falling apart, and then like a woman hasn't been doing much, and once she's out of the marriage, she's not sure who is she and what she's doing, and it's harder to start when you're in your like 40s rather than when you're in your 20s.
Right. Okay.
So I think it's also like comes to security reasons for a woman to be independent. So this is the reason I want to be independent as well, because I always want to feel secure that like whatever happens, I can rely on myself as well.
I feel like, well, not that I don't feel like it's facts that women are starting to make more money. They're starting to get more positions, and more women are going to university now than men, and it seems like women are making more money. No, not seems like, it's true that women are starting to make more money than men, and then women, like, they want to date or marry a man that has similar wealth or makes more money than the woman, but there's not that many men anymore because they've already overtaken a lot of men.
It's so much pressure on men.
Yeah, and a lot of men are just falling by the wayside because they cannot compete with the women now, because the women are making more money. So now it's like the women have to date small percentage of men, and then it's like all these women are so smart, make so much money, and they're all trying to get the one smaller percent, and it's kind of the balance is kind of tipping.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I'd say that Western women became very like I think they are less demanding on that, because I can for sure say that Eastern European women were so demanding on that. Like it's very important how much a partner earns. It's because like we want the best life because we also want to give the man like all the best. In here, it's all about the balance, the 50-50. And I think women are softer in here because they're willing to pay 50% mortgage. They're willing to even the men are willing to take half of the responsibility for kids. So the trends have shifted. I don't know what's better because I'm still Eastern European. But I'd say right now, on the one hand, I feel like it is a lot of pressure on men to earn a lot.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I understand. Like I'm working myself. It's so hard to make money. They don't just fall on you. On the other hand, obviously everyone wants the best life. So in my opinion, if you want, in my head, the way I see it, if you want the partner, you always most likely you're going to attract someone similar to yourself. So you have to be the best version of yourself in different areas of your life to attract someone who's also as good in those areas. Because if you don't represent anything of yourself, you don't have any interests, you don't, I don't know, you're not educated enough, or you're not, I don't know, you're lazy, whatever it can be. And then you want someone ambitious with yachts and millions. Of course, you have to kind of align with each other because we attract who we are as well.
I mean, I feel like men, I don't know if men really care that much about the woman's education level. It's not like a man is more... Generally, a man is not attracted to the woman if she has a degree, but more like if she's beautiful, mostly.
Yeah, but with the beautiful, you can't go too long. You can't go too far. Yes. Okay. Yeah. First thing, the man is 100%. The man is attracted to is how pretty the girl is. Yeah. It's 100%. But then, I think after even if you go on dates, after a couple of dates, if the person is not interesting, both sides, to be honest,
true.
What you can talk about, if you're looking for a partner, you have to be looking in the same direction and always have something to talk about. It can't be just about how beautiful you are. Okay, there are some men who choose actually a girl for how beautiful they are. They're normally, what I see, they're already they achieved everything they could. They already honestly done everything they could, and right now they can just afford having a very young girl, and she's pretty, and she's I think it's called trophy wife, isn't it? Yeah. So okay, there are these cases as well, although I feel those men will always cheat because they might be not interested enough in their woman they've chosen. So 100% in the beginning a man is attracted to how pretty the girl is, and it's
rather than but you think maybe long term it's better if
it depends also what you're looking for, because we're not all looking for long-term relationships. Because if it's something short, I don't know, you're on a holiday and you want a holiday romance, you don't care how smart the person is and what education he has and what job and how much income and whatever the life goals.
So the sweet spot would probably be the girl just finished university maybe, and she's because if the woman works and then she reaches 30, well, apparently that's hard to have children after 30, right?
Yeah.
So sweet spot is the girl is out of university and has children, get married at that point. Maybe it's probably the best time, right?
Ideally, yes.
Yeah.
But again, it depends. If living in London, it's just when you think about having kids in here, it's hard to take care of yourself in here.
London,
if you have a kid in here, it's, I don't know, how to survive with a kid. So this is the point. This is why I'm saying in Russia, people people get married and kids way earlier than in here, because in here it's just way harder. And also safety reasons. When I'm going to be having kids, I don't think I want them to be grown up in London. It's too dangerous. It's too much going on. I'd rather live in the countryside for them to and for me to feel safer for them.
Safe in what sense?
I don't know. In London, imagine letting your kid go on its own, to play in a playground.
Crime?
Yeah, it's so much crime happening. in any areas in London, like it's so much crime still happening. So it's a bit scary.
So do you carry like a pepper spray in your pocket or?
I don't, unfortunately. Honestly, I should have, because there were like a few like situations. I try not to hang out in the like dodgy areas at all.
So what would you have for self-defense? Do you know karate or like?
Nothing.
Oh.
I would have just my scream.
Your scream?
Honestly, I'm very unprepared for this situation, which I shouldn't be. Just the other day, like, and this is when I realized I have to be more careful. Honestly, London is getting crazier with people. I was walking home. Basically, yeah, I live like in the East London, and I was walking home, and my house is not too far from Canary Wharf area, and Canary Wharf area is like kind of safe. It has lots of securities and stuff, but I live just above it. So it was quite late at night, and DLR wasn't working anymore. And I had to like pass. So basically, to get home, I tried to get Uber, but it kept canceling me. And I was like, okay, it's only like 15-20 minutes like walk for me. I'll just make it. So I was just going through shopping mall, which should be like a safer area, and from the outside, two guys started to like approach me, and they were saying like something stupid to me, and they were like, oh, like started to chat to me, and I saw they were like a bit drunk, or I don't know, like one of them especially was like looked like high, and yeah, they were asking really like dodgy questions, asking like trying to make up with me, and I was like, sorry guys, I'm in a rush. And then I was being nice, like, sorry guys, I'm in a rush, but they looked like they can hit me, and I started to get scared, so I was like being nice, and then they wouldn't understand me being nice, and then I was like, I always say it like when the guys approach me, like if like yeah, when I'm not interested, like, sorry, I have a boyfriend, like, just to like, so they go away. And they were like, it doesn't matter. And then they got really offended that I'm not into them. And they started to swear at me, especially the other guy was saying, I don't even want to say like some stupid stuff. And I got really scared. And I realized I'm in a shopping mall right now, but I'm about to exit it on the other side. And in there is no one. And thanks God, when security, he saw it from the further down, he came to them and started to like take their mind of me, like started to like take them away from me, like just asking questions, so I kind of could escape. But yeah, it was really scary, and I was like, okay, if he wouldn't approach, I have no idea how I would get rid of them. And yeah, this is why I feel like London is a bit dangerous. And yeah.
That's a crazy story, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm hearing a lot of the stories, like then finding in newspapers how some girls are getting killed, so or like raped and stuff, and we are always like at the edge in here. So this is why I'm saying London is dangerous. And I was in one of the like Canary Wharf. I think at least a couple of years ago, it was to be like Tower Hamlets used to be like the safest area. And especially Canary Wharf, like so much security is like all the time around. And it's happened in one of the safest areas in London.
Wow.
So yeah.
So you need to have something to prepare yourself with.
Yeah. So I always think I need to go to Amazon to buy this like spray, and I never do.
Or you could take up MMA like training. Apparently a lot of people doing MMA.
I did some boxing. I don't know if it's gonna help me much.
Boxing.
What am I gonna do?
Well, you could literally just punch them in the balls.
Yeah, actually, this is my only kind of like plan.
Can I ask? So I wanted to go on the topic of, so in terms of like dating, like your friends, like well, what do you think in what is dating like in London? Like, is it difficult to meet a guy for a woman? How has it been for your friends? And do they? I mean, how do they meet guys maybe on Tinder, Instagram, like, and how has dating been for them?
Yeah, it's a good question because I have like a few single friends, so I always listen to lots of stories about dating in London. What can I say right now is that the dating has like, I think it became crazy in London. It's too much options right now that no one gets really committed. What I'm seeing a lot that people meet for dates, but no one wants like to actually commit. And like, I don't know, I'm looking at some of my friends and like some of the girls and even the guys. Even the guys. I mean, I'm not saying that. It's just most of my friends are girls.
Yeah.
So they're really like amazing people, really smart, and they are looking for like serious relationships. And what's really disappointing is that there are people have too much options with all these dating apps and with Instagram as well, because Instagram is also like a free dating app basically. So say people take dating less serious, and if before you went on a few dates, like you get married, like in early 20s. Right now you're going on dates, you can even date, you can hang out, but it's not going to be dating, or it's not going to be like in relationships, and it can like hold on for years that you're just hanging out, and one of the people in the relationship doesn't understand what's actually happening, and they're too scared to say anything because they're too scared to lose this person when the other person doesn't take them seriously. So I'd say dating experience is like in London, because it's a big city, it's too many people, it's a bit crazy.
So women and men as well have too many options, you're saying?
Yes, 100%.
And that's why it's hard for both parties to commit.
Yeah, because you always feel like you can find someone better. You can go on a date, like can be some nice person, but then in the back of the mind it's like, I can find someone better. Yeah. Or like you find something like you don't like about the person, and you're like,
I can get someone.
I can't be bothered.
Too many options.
Yeah.
I assume more women would have more options than men, though, right? Do you think?
I don't know, to be honest.
I wouldn't. I mean,
I'd say, I don't know. I feel like.
Because my friend, a girl, like she's on Tinder, she would have 2,000 matches on Tinder.
Yeah.
And like, me or my other guy friends, we would like, I wouldn't have as much as 2,000 matches on Tinder, is what I'm saying. So I feel like women have more options than men do.
I think men in general are less. They have less criteria when they swipe right or left. If it's men have less criteria when they swipe right or left, because for them, slightly pretty. All right, fine for a date.
As long as it's pretty.
As long as it's like, as long as it's like slightly, okay. Like I'll swipe and then hope for like maybe it's gonna work out. For girls, I'd say it's more criteria, because even what I'm hearing like from a friend, like they always like go through like all the like criteria, read about the person,
what star sign they are. It's important.
Oh my god, this is a funny one. Yes, and funny enough, you're a Scorpio, isn't it? It's a funny story. The other day, I've met someone, and I couldn't remember. It was one of those nights when I was drunkish, and I normally don't get to that point when I don't remember some things, but it was tequila involved. And apparently, and then the next day, this person messaged me like, I can't remember how the whole conversation started, but then the person messaged me like, I'm a Scorpio. I remember you don't like Scorpios. And I was like, what? I've sent this like screenshot to some of my friends asking like, why, what's happened yesterday? Why he's saying it to me? And then she said, my friend, she said to me, and basically I asked like, what's your horoscope sign? And when I've heard Scorpio, I was like, no. I couldn't remember it, but in general I knew like I think Scorpios is like one of the hardest signs in general. I don't have anything against you guys, but you are hard to deal with.
I can't disagree.
So yeah, this is a funny story about the sign. But
What
I'd
sign
say
are you?
I'm Libra.
Libra. No, not Libra.
Although
hard to deal with too.
Yes, maybe, but I think we are more. I'd say we don't hate the world. And we are very liberal, and yes, we are sometimes hard to deal with, but
I was just joking. I don't know if they are or not.
But yeah, regarding dating, girls also check. They check the horoscope. Some of them, they check the horoscope sign as well.
They check horoscopes.
And one of the first questions, like we ask, like I asked for my girls when they went on dates. I'm like, so what horoscope sign he is? Do you match?
So that's important to the girls, right? To all of your friends, it's important.
Okay, I can't say it's the main thing because we have so much more behind us. There's also numerology. I'm kidding. It's not.
Numerology.
It's not the only. I'm just making a joke right now.
Right.
Okay, there are lots of other things that like very important in a person apart from their horoscope
Their
sign.
height.
And the height, and the height as well, obviously.
What would your friends say is the minimum height they would date?
I don't know. Everyone wants a guy who is higher than them. It's not always the case. But yeah, it's like.
Would you say that mostly it would be higher, taller than 6 foot? That would be what they would want.
I don't wanna, like put any man.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Position,
Fair enough. Yeah.
but I think it depends because some girls, like some of my friends, they're like very tall. Some of them are models, so
Yeah.
obviously want a guy like maybe over
Similar.
6'6" because just so you can vary. Okay, like I think the main. From what I've heard from like common opinion is that if you can wear heels and you're not higher than a guy, that's good.
And what about in terms of weight? Can they be obese? Can they be fat? Or do they have to have a 6-pack? What about that? What are the minimum requirements?
So, okay, in this country, what I'm seeing, the tendency, I see that the guys, I don't know how important for everyone it is. Like for me, for example, the body is not the main thing. Of course, like because I'm looking after my health, I'm expecting like the person to look after their health. It's not the number one thing. But what I'm seeing in this country is that, for example, if we are in Russia, the girls always look after themselves.
Yeah.
The men, they're just there. They're earning money. They're busy with earning money. And the girls are looking after themselves because we have such high competition in terms of like who's looking better. And this is why when you go to Moscow, this is why like there is a stereotype about like Russian women. And I get why, because they actually like do a lot to look well. But with England, it's other way around.
Yes. Why is that? Why is it in Russia that men are scarce and women are, they have more competition?
Because women, I'd say because we still have a little bit of patriarchy. So the woman has to look after herself to find husband, and I think it's less men than a woman in Russia.
There's
so it's
less men than
harder
women,
to find a husband. And if you want to find someone actually decent, obviously you have to like
look good,
look nice as well, and especially with that competition like of all the girls looking very nicely, you kind of have to also like look after yourself.
So the main reason is because there's more women than men in Russia, and then in London maybe there's more men.
Yeah, and it's more competition as well in Russia, like in terms of the way you look. And it's just, I don't know, it's just when you feel bad when everyone's looking after themselves, I think, and then you're not. I mean, at least I would feel bad for it. Because like why you can also do the same, like, and also I feel like in general, if the person is looking good, they're healthier, and it's like more like signs into like even building a family. Because if you're seeing someone very obese, unhealthy, like with, I don't know, bad teeth, something like that, it's straight away you have this opinion in your head that this person doesn't care about themselves, and maybe you don't want even to build a family with this person, because if he doesn't care about himself, like how he can take care of the family.
It's more of a subconscious thing.
Yeah, I think it's psychological thing as well. Yeah. Whether in here, other way around, men look after themselves more than women, and I don't know why. But this is what I've noticed. All the like when you go to gym, it's more men than women. And men actually have 6-pack. Women, they don't care. They eat whatever they want. They eat fish and chips, and they don't care to get obesity.
But that's what men are in Russia. They're obese.
Yeah.
It's the other way around. Yeah.
So for me this is funny. So
this is the reason why generally women in Russia are quite beautiful then, because they look after themselves a lot.
I think we have this trend of looking after ourselves. I think this is a trend. Obviously,
genetics, do that have a play in it?
Maybe genetics also have a role. Probably also we can like put it on genetics as well.
So would you say like a woman who travels from Russia to London, she gets a lot more attention then? Less competition in London.
I'd say, to be honest, I'd say yes. even like back to school years, when like I heard some like British guys starting dating Russian girls, they were so proud of it. They
They're
would
proud
tell
of
to everyone like, I'm dating a Russian girl. So I'd say for sure when
It's
I
funny that they could just go to Russia and date men more, Russian girls.
yeah, but obviously like it's not that many Russians in here as in like in Russia.
Yeah.
So it's not that many like also Russian women like who speak English and who is like settled in here and stuff. So for sure I'd say in a dating world maybe it helps to be like Eastern European these days.
Uh-huh.
But also because we also look after ourselves, and as you mentioned, men like with their eyes. So yeah, I'd say Eastern European women do get a lot of attention. In England and London for sure I can say it.
I wanted to ask you because you say you network a lot in Instagram, and you get invites on there. So can you share what would be the craziest or most amazing invite you've ever gotten on Instagram?
Okay, from recent, I'd say invitation to London Fashion Week. It was like it was a September one, so I'd say it because of my Instagram. It's and connection, so it's all kind of related. But I've met one girl, and at first, basically, I used to like manage one salon, and I've met her because she used to be a client, and we kind of like connected, but we wouldn't like meet as often. We would meet like when she would come for her appointments and stuff, and then we just would follow each other on Instagram, and maybe like couple times before that meet for coffee very like briefly. But then because of Instagram, I think like we kept in touch, and then somehow it has happened. She was representing one really cool Russian brand in London Fashion Week, and she was like putting them out there, and she invited me there as a model, even though I'm not doing modeling. I do it as a freelance, I'd say. I'm not with any agency or anything, so I wouldn't like potentially get this job because I'm just like not bothered to go into agencies. And then I got this invitation, and
Was this last September?
it was this September. So yeah, this was one of the like really crazy things. And then yeah, because it was my first catwalk, I kind of felt very excited. It was very great experience. I got this like gala event invitation through Instagram as well, like twice. I went there. It was also a very cool event. I got it was recently I got paid for like, okay, I don't want to say which post it was paid, but I post sometimes restaurant reviews, and one restaurant reached out to me and they basically said, come eat for free and post about us and we will even pay you a little bit. And it's with my low following. So this is why I'm saying it's very influential.
I always see you posting restaurant reviews.
I don't
why
do
I
it.
always see it.
Do you see it or no?
I see quite a lot of you.
A lot
of restaurant reviews
I
from you.
post in stories a lot because I love going out like and exploring London restaurants and dining and stuff is like one of my also interests because I like good food and I like exploring new places, and London is amazing for that. It has all sorts of places you can think of, and especially like for me, I like to give it I feel like I can give at this point I can give reviews to it because I've experienced so many like places in here that I can actually compare them. So yeah, through Instagram
They have to have vegetarian options and fish.
They all do. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
It's not a problem these days. Even if it's a steakhouse. Okay, steakhouse is the hardest.
Steakhouse.
The steakhouse is normally chips and salad. It's the only maybe harder place to get the pescatarian, vegetarian sorts of options. But yeah, this was another crazy invite for me as well, to go to a restaurant to review it. And I was like, okay, I do it normally. I go to restaurants, like I pay the restaurant and then I review them. And then here.
So what's the craziest message you ever got on Instagram then? Can you see?
It's a lot happening. My favorite, I don't know.
Do you get many offers for dates on Instagram?
Yes. To be honest, on Instagram, like I don't reply to anyone.
Right.
I don't trust Instagram people because you never know, like so many dodgy pages, and some people send really like weird messages. I got Yeah, I don't know, like, even what to start with. There are some messages are really disgusting. It's like sexual related messages as well as like, oh, I'm gonna give you $5,000 to come with me to, like, like doing escorts.
Oh, to a certain
Yeah.
country.
Okay. Anyone can do whatever they want, like, and live their life whatever they want. But I get these messages as well. And for me, I'm like, am I representing that? So. Yeah, sometimes, I even did some screenshots of like what I was sending to my friends, some of like crazy messages.
Yeah.
I can't remember out of my head now, but yeah.
All right.
Normally it's the guys and they send really weird vibes, and I never reply to them.
I understand. I'm sure a lot of girls get
But yeah, I think with Insta and girls in general, I feel like some guys, they copy paste and send the same message, and they see like if they're gonna be lucky, like, for the girl to reply to that, or like even if the girl replies to that, like I don't even know like where it's gonna lead when you're sending a message from a really dodgy page. Or like
at least fix your page.
And my favorite messages is from like talking about the guys, is from the guys who's messaging you, hitting on you, and on their page they're happily married. And for me, this is the craziest thing.
Well, actually, it's not that crazy. There is an app called Madison something.
Mm-hmm.
There's a dating app that is specifically for affairs.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it. Madison something. And that was like the most popular dating app or some most popular. So it's not completely crazy.
Okay, maybe as long as this person
Ashley Madison, that was it.
Knows about it. Like, as long as like they both maybe agreed on that. I don't know. So on this dating app, it's like couples agree to like date?
No, not couples, just like the men it'll be discreet, and then they'll meet the woman at a special secret location and have an affair, and then they don't know, their wife does not know.
I didn't know that exists.
Or it can even be for wives. They can meet men on there without letting their husband know.
Yeah. I mean, we're living in 21st century. I feel like people have way more options of how to live this life. Yeah. There is no more like strict rules. Yeah. You can get married, you can get divorced, you can like even have an affair, and both of the partners are fine with that. You can have an open relationship. I'm really open-minded about like how people live this life, but in most cases, because I got so many like of my friends who also got cheated on, and I know it's not the nicest feeling.
Yeah.
And they had no idea the man had an affair.
Yeah.
And this is why I feel really bad for those women whose men are messaging me, because I feel really like I feel sad for both of them. Like,
well, I mean, divorce is very high, as you said. So because of all the options we have nowadays. So it's just the modern society. I guess. So are you involved in anything like related to the fashion week? There's a fashion this week or something?
Yes. Yeah. It was I think it was actually yesterday. Yesterday I was invited actually to go, but I was working.
You're working? Oh.
I was at work. But yesterday I don't think I would be able to. Basically, I wasn't feeling well yesterday. Okay. So I wouldn't be able to even make it, because I went to I had work, and I went there and I went home after this. Like, not after, I'm
did you
in the middle
go?
of the
You didn't go, or you?
No, I didn't go at the end. Yeah. I was invited yesterday. I wanted to go, and I was thinking maybe like to sign up for this year, like with some agencies, but I just didn't have enough.
Oh, there's no
time. I was like, even if I do, when do I go to castings? When do I do this? If right now I'm already like struggling.
No, I didn't know you did fashion management. Is that right? Well?
Yeah.
I always noticed you have good fashion sense. So that's probably why.
Yeah, I was always into fashion. I'd say girls are in general into fashion.
Yeah, so I thought you're quite interested in London Fashion Week as well. Then I guess.
Yeah. I am, but because this is not my main industry right now, I'm focusing on. That's why I can kind of like skip on this sort of events.
I feel like it should be, because you did the degree in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, this year I wanted to go, but this week, like when the London Fashion Week was so crazy, so I was invited to 2 events, and I couldn't come to both of them
well,
because I had like
September as well. So.
Yeah, so I'm hopefully by September I can kind of do the time management better in my life, because right now it's just I think time management is lacking. Like or I always feel like I don't have enough hours, and when I wish I would have. So some of the areas in my life are like.
So and in terms of London, maybe one last question, Polina. I mean, is there quite a big community in Russian? How is life as a Russian in London? Do you have many Russian friends in London then?
So I'd say at this point, not anymore. It used to be more Russians in London before. So
Where did they go?
Dubai.
Dubai. Why Dubai?
Because we don't need visa in there, and it's no taxes. And after the war, it was the easiest place to live, to get a work visa at, and to stay in, and lots of job opportunities in there, lots of money in there. So lots of Russians right now in Dubai, also like in other countries as well, but like so many people are living in there.
It's not just rich Russians in Dubai, right? Is it all classes of Russians, would you say?
No, I'd say more like rich Russians, or Russians like who are very smart and go there to make lots of money. Even like to travel to London, you had to like if someone immigrated here, most likely they had money to like come here, because we can't take like grants for universities or anything like that. So whoever I came here with, like back then, because in here I finished school and I finished university, so I've met lots of people and lots of Russians as well.
So you're one of the few Russians that are still here, or
from like my uni and from my school. Is anyone even here still?
There's probably quite a lot of Ukrainians here though now.
Yeah, Ukrainians. It's a lot of here. It's a lot of Ukrainians in here, because especially after like the war has started, like lots of people immigrated in here. I have lots of Ukrainian friends as well. I have like I can't say I have lots of Russian speaking friends, but they're all Eastern European. I'd say they're Ukrainians, Latvians, Lithuanians, Estonian. So I'd say I have more of Eastern European friends rather than Russians, but because since from 2014 lots of sanctions came to Russia, lots of people back then like they've chosen like that England, like they're gonna leave England. Then after England, like after UK, after the Brexit, basically this country is not as like attractive anymore, I'd say, for like few reasons, due to like taxes, prices, like recessions and stuff. So I'd say UK has lost its like popularity. So lots of people choose not to live in here, they'd rather go somewhere else. And with Russians, like it's way less Russians there, but it's still a very big Russian speaking community. I have so many Russian-speaking friends in London. I mean, some of them from Russia, some of them, as I mentioned, from Eastern Europe. We have our own like Russian parties every week. I know the guys who are organizing them. They're doing really great. Every week they're renting out the club. Lots of like Russian-speaking people come there. We network, meet each other. Also, lots of Russian karaoke, Russian restaurants, shishas, all sorts of like places. I'd say we hang out at to meet similar people, and networking events as well, specific networking events like just for Russians. So it's still a big community. This is why I love London as well, because even though I'm quite integrated in here, I'd say after 10 years I have like all sorts of friends. I still feel like I'm at home because I can still speak Russian to so many people. So yeah, being Russian in London these days, I'd say it's obviously it's slightly harder because of the situation in the world. But I'd say it was harder when when the war just started. Right now it's better because people understand that it's not your fault that the war has started. That is like it's politics basically.
I mean, you said when it started it was harder. It was hard.
People
were treating you differently.
Yeah, I mean, back then it was really weird times. No one understood what's going on, and I was always like, before war has started, I mean, right now I'm still, but basically before the war has started, I would always be like mega proud I'm from Russia. I would represent my country. I was proud of my government. I was proud of like what my country is doing. Was really happy with my country. When the war has started and this news are coming up and there's so much hate towards Russians, And there were like a few comments towards me as well. And I even like at some point I stopped when people would ask me like where are you from. I wouldn't say where I'm from because I just didn't want to. I didn't want to hear the same questions all over again. Like, oh my God, how did you guys started the war? What do you think about Putin? What do you think like about that? Why you're not going to like fight him? And I just got so tired of answering these questions that I would even ignore the question where I'm from. I would just say, I'm Polish. And I would hope that the person is not from Poland as well to start speaking Polish to me. It was in the beginning. Then later people kind of came back to their senses. They understood that it's really not that ethically to ask, like especially with me, I'm living in here for 10 years.
Yeah.
I think I have different opinions on the situation, and especially lots of my, as I mentioned, lots of my friends are Ukrainians. It's horrible what's happening in there. So I think people kind of came to their senses to understand that it's not my fault. It's not my family's fault. It's not Russian people in general fault. It's
you, Polina. What is you like? Why did you stop?
At some point, I felt like that. I felt like, oh my God, I'm Russian. Oh my God, what we're doing? Like when I never was into politics. I know our politics is a bit fucked up, but I live in here in this country, and
that's quite crazy.
Yeah, it was a bit crazy. So yeah, there were a few funny situations about that, like people talking to me about, and I feel like it's very like unethical to say to me when all my family is in Russia, and also like I'm also scared my family, like part of my family is going to be in war as well at some point because I have men in my family as well. And when they're saying to me like some offensive things, and I understand why Ukrainians are so angry. I would be also angry if I would be on their place. It's crazy what's happening. I know how their relatives are struggling right now, and how many people are dying in there, and some of their friends are dying. It's horrible when we hear this news every time. It's a huge trauma to all of us. But yeah, when some people are saying to me and like put this fault on me or on my family for that, I'm like, guys, come to your senses. It's not the right thing to do. And yeah, we all, even like I feel like we don't have to have a biased opinion on the situation. I really support the idea of like open-mindedness, and I hate when people are just like when people think just like that.
Narrow-minded, emotional maybe. Using it.
Yeah.
That's very interesting, Polina. Thanks so much for coming on this podcast today. That's kind of all the time we have for now. But I could talk to you for hours. So I hope you enjoyed coming on this podcast.
Of course.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure to have.
Thank you so much for having me. It was really nice to talk to you. Also, I really love the brand you just represented. I saw it on Instagram, like that you posted about it, but it was very interesting to find out about it more.
Yeah, I'm sure I will ask you for some tips at some point. You're the social media expert.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.